Hi everyone, Miles here, the golf professional at Southwick Park Golf Club. I suppose this video has been a long time coming because the ground conditions lately have been very testing, and it's obviously super soft, and we've had these big storms come through and the course may be shut for a day, and then we come out to play again and the course is saturated and the ground's very heavy. It's still playable, but it's very difficult. So let's talk about those real problems you're having in these really wet, squelchy, very soft conditions. Okay, so the number one thing that we've got to try and avoid, obviously, is hitting before the ball, hitting a slightly fat shot. So the first thing to do is address first is, why might you hit before the ball? Okay, so I'm going to give you a few simple things, and then there's some solutions hopefully for you towards the end. So the first thing is, this is a really silly thing for me, and I see quite a lot, that people will start their club maybe 1-2 inches behind the ball. It might be something you've always done, and something maybe you get away with in the summer where you can sort of bounce through into the ball a little bit. But that for me is one of the first things you want to knock off in your address position. Tuck that club right in behind the ball, nestle it right in, right snug as you can get away with. No point having it back here, because if you start 2 inches behind the ball, that's the last place you want to find yourself. Right, so the main reason why people are hitting before the ball normally when these conditions are soft is weight transference. So if there's any weight back on this back foot, for me as a right hander on my right foot, I'm going to be early. So you'll find those sort of people that get a bit flat-footed, not transferring the weight. Oh, that's a beauty, like a dead rat in there. So the ground conditions are so soft, I can keep the club going, but the ball's going to go nowhere with a big sticky layer of mud between the ball and the club face. So let's make sure that we're shifting weight back through the shot properly. And if not, you've got to accept that you might have to alter your ball position. So ball position is worth talking about, because the further back in my stance, the more likely I am to hit downwards on the ball. Now that on its own might be okay. If I'm hitting ball and turf together, that might be okay. But one of the things you should look at changing to try and help yourself in these trickier conditions is experiment, and you'll have to practice it with moving the ball position slightly further forward. So this is my position of my 7-iron normally. If I move it one ball forward towards my left foot, that will shallow out my angle of attack. I can just pick it nicely off the top of the ground. So you do want to hit the ball first, and don't be frightened of the divot, but that's got to be all after the ball. So if there's any divot before the ball, you're in trouble. So snug the club in behind the ball, look to play with ball position. You'll have to experiment with that. Too far back, obviously, the further back I hit it, the steeper my angle of attack is. And this is what we're talking about, angle of attack that needs changing for stop hitting these fat shots. The other thing, obviously, is rises and gains in height. Now, we all know that obviously that if there's a gain in height, you will top it. But equally, if you go looking for that ground and dip down a little bit, that's probably going to be a horrific shot. So I think you need some practice to get these flush shots really nice, of setting yourself up and really concentrating. People always say you lift it or you move. Concentrate on the middle of your chest, right where my sternum is. Wants to be there. I've got some serious mud on this club. This part is not going to move much. I want this point here to remain the same, and I'm going to turn around that. And you can nip it much cleaner by making sure you control head height. So it's a difficult time of year, which obviously passes, but I want you to just concentrate on flushing balls, obviously. So come out here to the practice ground. Don't make a mess, but you can drill yourself to take these shallow divots, sweepy divots, which aren't too steep. And in that moment, you'll enjoy your golf a lot more. And yeah, it will pass. It's a very this part of England where we are, it's not very sandy. It's all very clay based. So in order for you to hit these good shots, you're going to have to practice. You're going to concentrate on head height, smoothness, rhythm. I think you want to start to take as much aggression out of your golf as you can this time of year, especially with the wedges. Look to shorten your swing and control it a little bit more. And then you will, regardless how soft it is, you'll start making some nice contacts. And don't make too much of a mess of my practice area because we've got a long old summer to get through. Thanks for watching. See you all next week.